A police chase on I-65 turns deadly. A driver traveling in the wrong direction refuses to stop. He crashes head-on into another truck and dies. A passenger in his truck also is killed. The police officer in pursuit and another person are hurt.
That chase began just after midnight in Gary, Indiana. Morning rush hour commuters could still see the wreckage that was left behind. ABC 7's Cheryl Burton joins us live now with details. Cheryl?
Well, Linda, traffic along I-65 is moving at a normal pace for evening commuters. But for the morning commuters, it was quite a different story after a deadly car crash overnight snarled traffic for hours. Now, according to the Gary police, around midnight, they received a 911 call from a motorist saying there was a red pickup truck traveling in the wrong direction. Well, there was a squad car in the area. He located the car, and that is when the chase ensued. Late this afternoon, the Lake County coroner returns to the scene, searching through debris and mangled rubble for any type of material to help make a positive identification on one of the unnamed victims. There are only small pieces and car seats of the red pickup truck that remain as evidence to aid investigators in determining why the driver was traveling southbound in the northbound lanes of I-65 just south of 15th Avenue before he slammed into an oncoming semi-truck.
The officer pursued the pickup truck, but they refused to stop, had red lights and the sirens going, and approximately just 3/4 miles just south of 15th Avenue, it struck a head-on semi head-on. It was a tanker truck semi. Thankful it was empty. It was a gasoline tanker.
After the car struck the tanker truck, it flipped over the guardrail, sending it airborne, passing the viaduct and landing in a ditch below. The impact of the crash shattered the pickup into pieces and ejected the passenger onto the concrete. Both the driver and the passenger were pronounced dead at the scene. The Gary police officer chasing the truck then crashed himself, but investigators credit his airbag and good police training as factors in saving his life.
He hit the meridian and hit the guardrail, and then he himself went over the guardrail, flying through the air in a squad car, seated in a squad car, and came down pretty hard down below, but landed on all 4 tires.
Amazingly, Sergeant George Wood survived the crash, suffering only minor injuries. He was treated at a local hospital and released. The driver of the tanker was also slightly injured. 55-year-old Ed Tranowski of Portage, Indiana, suffered minor injuries as well. He was treated at an area hospital and released. Killed in the crash, the driver of the pickup, 39-year-old Ralph Moore of Portage, Indiana, and his passenger, identified at this time as John Doe. Now, investigators at the scene say they found beer bottles and cans in the wreckage of the red pickup truck. At this hour, an autopsy is underway, and investigators are waiting the results of toxicology and lab tests being performed on both bodies to determine if alcohol was involved in that accident. As for Sergeant George Woods of the Gary Police Department, I spoke with the department this afternoon. They said he is at home, albeit sore, but thankful to be alive because he knows it could have been worse. Reporting live along I-65 in Gary, Cheryl Burton, ABC 7 News. Joel?
Thank you, Cheryl. A train accident on the South Shore line. A Sherrillville woman is trapped on the track and killed. A tape measure shows a deadly 8-inch gap, the space between the train and the platform at the Randolph Street station. 38-year-old Rosetta Prendergast died when she got caught in that gap. Today, investigators are at the scene looking for witnesses to the accident to determine just how it happened. ABC 7's Jim Rosenfield is live now with the latest. Jim?
The big question that rail officials are trying to answer this evening is, what was Prendergast doing down on the tracks between 2 rail cars yesterday evening? Transit police for the South Shore line are going to be handing out these flyers to commuters who come down here to take that next train this afternoon in an attempt to find additional witnesses to the accident, and they are asking those witnesses to contact them. This orange spray paint marks the spot where Rosetta Prendergast was spotted on the tracks 4 feet below the platform. Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District officials tell ABC 7 News an off-duty fare collector from another train noticed her standing between 2 cars of the 510 train bound for South Bend.
As the door shut and the train just started to inch forward, he looked down in between and heard a voice say to him, actually the reason he looked down is a voice called up to him to say, "Hey, I need to get out of here." He looked down and saw a lady trying to climb up the side of the car and get up on the platform. He immediately, instinctively tried to grab her, but unfortunately it was a little bit too late and her leg got pinned.
Passenger Rosemary Harris witnessed the rail workers' effort to help.
When I looked out the window, he was reaching down, pulling something. And I was like, what is he doing? Because he kept pulling it back like this. And I looked down, there was a hand clasped to his hand, and he was pulling.
Now rail police are trying to figure out why Prendergast was on the tracks. They found a checkbook there, possibly supporting one theory that maybe she went down on the tracks to retrieve something. Northern Indiana commuter rail officials say this device right here, called a mating diaphragm, prevents a passenger from slipping down onto the tracks if he or she is moving between cars from inside the train. So far, the railroad does not believe Prendergast, a wife, mother of 3 children, and part-time worker at the Leo Burnett ad agency, was rushing to catch the train. That, despite this eyewitness account.
Well, she was saying, wait, wait. She thought the train was moving, then she fell down.
Police now say that checkbook definitely belonged to Prendergast, but they believe it fell out of her purse along with other personal items when that purse was ripped apart by the train during this accident. Reporting live at the Randolph Street Station, Jim Rosenfield, ABC 7 News. Joel, Linda.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. And as you mentioned, the victim is survived by her husband and 3 children. We will have more on Rosetta Prendergast on ABC 7 News at 5.
A big development today in the trial of 21st Ward Alderman Jesse Evans. Videotapes are released that show Evans allegedly taking bribes. And today at the corruption trial, an FBI agent says that Evans confessed to the crime and then changed his mind. ABC 7's Paul Mike is in the newsroom right now with details. Paul?
Linda, Jesse Evans' attorney fought the release of the undercover videotapes, contending that they could prejudice jury members who might happen to see them on TV. The jury, however, has already seen these tapes in the courtroom. And today, the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals cleared the way for their release. This tape from late March of '94 shows former Alderman Evans meeting with FBI undercover agent Mark Sophia, who was posing as businessman Mark Deloniga. Prosecutors say that Evans had agreed to provide a city street sweeper to clean a private construction site, and that this was the first of 4 payoffs to Alderman Evans.
You said 15, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I really do appreciate it.
The undercover agent twice counts out 15 $100 bills, which the defense calls theatrics for the purpose of the undercover tape. At the end of this brief meeting, Evans puts the $1,500 in his pocket and leaves. He has subsequently claimed that he took the money only as a political contribution. Then, 7 months later, Evans is recorded in an undercover apartment in Oak Brook Terrace, taking the second in what the government says were the 4 bribes. The agent posing as the businessman, explaining that he's kicking back a portion of what he saved on the street cleanup.
I saved about $2 grand based on the 2 weeks, and so your share of that would be $1 grand. Is that fair? Yeah. Okay.
This afternoon, FBI agent Robert Cardell testified that when Evans was confronted with the evidence against him in January of '96, Evans initially denied wrongdoing, but was then shown this tape. And after seeing himself put the cash in his pocket, Cardell says Evans admitted that he'd accepted bribes and that he had not reported any of his so-called political contributions to the IRS. FBI agent Cardell testified this afternoon that Evans agreed to cooperate with the prosecution and that in 2 meetings with investigators in January of '96, he named at least 4 elected officials, including 2 aldermen, that he suspected of being on the take. None of those people was named in court today, and it's unclear if Evans was speaking of people other than those already indicted in Operation Silver Shovel. If Evans was ready to cooperate, he obviously had a change of heart, and he chose to fight the allegations in court. Live in the newsroom, Paul Meinke, ABC 7 News. Linda?
Paul, thanks very much. Major sports story here in Chicago. Will he stay or will he go? That's what Bulls fans have been wondering about Phil Jackson. Today, the coach is not giving anyone a clue. ABC 7's Jim Rose joins us now with some information.
And he's not going to give anyone a clue either. Headlines blared the news in the papers this morning. Phil Jackson and Jerry Reinsdorf meet to discuss the coach's return for 1 year next season. However, the coach denied there was a meeting between the two yesterday. The media descended upon Phil Jackson during the Bulls media session at the United Center this afternoon, looking for answers. Reporters asked him in a number of different ways, but this is what they heard.
No, I prefer to hold, my personal feelings about coming back to this job and the future and how I feel about it until the final game. and then it'll be an opportunity to talk about it.
What value do you want to put on 5 championships, for a coach or for a player or for a sense of loyalty? That's something that Reinsdorf can only determine, and Phil in terms of his asking price. I don't know what that is. I just hope they can come to an agreement.
Did you get the subliminal message there with Michael Jordan? He said 5 championships. So I guess he's guaranteeing there's going to be another one. And there has been speculation about the futures of Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman with the Bulls beyond this season. We'll talk about that during sports in about 13 minutes. Stay tuned.
That was not a Freudian slip.
No, he meant it. No, he meant it.
Thank you, Jim. Still ahead on our news, danger in Daytona, 3 shark attacks in 3 days, and tourists are on alert.
A man goes to court charged with drunk driving on a bicycle. That story is next. Then, later on the Health Beat, a new warning about a common household item and children.
Value City's first ever $40 million overstock sacrifice continues. This week's feature, $99.99 for a wicker settee, 2 chairs, and we'll throw in the matching coffee table absolutely free. That's a savings of $150 off department store prices. Plus, you'll find amazing markdowns throughout the entire store. We bought too much, so our loss is your gain. Don't miss Value City's first ever $40 million overstock sacrifice. This is hot.
My home is chocolate cake, a secret recipe Grandma baked. My home is brand new wishes and heirloom dishes, where only the best is found, and KitchenAid's all around. My home is future, present, past, surrounded by lovely things that last. It's love, it's me, it's memories of KitchenAid, for the way it's made.
Busy day, Ellen?
Oh, we must have been to a dozen carpet stores. I've had it.
We shop for carpeting, too, right here at home.
Oh?
We called Empire. They came out, showed us samples, and measured.
Oh.
And Empire's having a sale with all the latest styles and colors at 50% off.
You don't say.
No payments till next year, and they installed it the next day. Ellen, was it something I said?
588-2300 Empire.
Hey, man. Want to taste of something make you feel good?
Leave me alone.
Try it out. You don't know what you're missing. A little crack won't hurt you.
It'll make me a crackhead.
Won't cost you nothing. This one's on me. Absolutely free.
I said no, man.
Good job, son. That's just what you do if that ever happens.
Hey, Dad.
Deal with your kids. Tell them the truth about drugs. It could be the most important role you ever play.
Like how you handle yourself.
A tourist at Daytona Beach attacked by a shark, the 3rd shark attack in 3 days. 33-year-old Doug Emilio of Georgia was swimming with his girlfriend at Daytona Beach, Florida, over the weekend. They were in waist-high water when she spotted the shark that went after Emilio. He escaped with a minor injury to his foot. That incident has scared a lot of beachgoers.
I've never seen anything like it. I'm shaken up. I'm scared. I had been in there a few minutes before them.
Lifeguards believe that murky water contributed to this attack and 3 others like it over the weekend. Rough weather has churned up the sand, making it difficult for the sharks to see while they are hunting for food.
An unusual drunk driving case in an Ohio courtroom. A Westlake man is charged with driving under the influence for riding his bicycle while he was drunk. David Falkenstein pleaded not guilty to the charge, but he's in big trouble if he's convicted. Falkenstein reportedly has 6 previous DUI convictions. In those incidents, he was driving a car, and he lost his driver's license. Because of his record, this latest offense is considered a felony, and he faces much stiffer punishment.
We will take a break now, then coming up next on the Health Beat. If you are walking around tired,
you may be setting yourself up for more problems than you think. Today's Chicago Jeopardy category politicians. This Evanston businessman won the Nobel Peace Prize and was vice president.
Joy and I have friends over. We like to greet them with something special.
That's why we love Amturf's special border mix. Impatiens, alyssum, marigolds, and beautiful wildflowers.
Rake.
Apply border mix mulch.
Water as directed. It impresses them every time.
Border Mix is available at Kmart, Wanamaker's, Frank's, and participating True Value.
Superior Bank has helped thousands of homeowners.
Paid off the car loan, I paid off the credit card, I paid off my medical bills, and I still had money left over.
Being self-employed was no problem whatsoever.
Even if your credit is less than perfect, call Superior today.
Superior showed me how to let the equity in the house put my family in a much better financial situation.
Homeowners, call Superior Bank FSB today at 1-888-678-7777.
We found ourselves in a difficult financial situation, and Superior came to our rescue.
Ah, springtime, bright sunny days, gardens blooming. And then there are the mosquitoes, mayflies, poison ivy, and the endless itching they cause. Now get effective springtime itch relief with Respite Anti-Itch Lotion. Respite contains 2 medications that quickly and effectively relieve the itch caused by insect bites and poison ivy, oak, and sumac. So prepare yourself for the itches of springtime. Get Respite Anti-Itch Lotion.
Respite is available at Walgreens, Meijer, and Osco.
Sports on ABC7, brought to you by Jewel Food Stores. Take a fresh look at an old friend. Jewel.
There's no clock out here. No alarm that tells you the crops are ready. You just have to keep a watchful eye and make sure the quality is exactly right. But when that perfect moment arrives, you can't lose a single minute. At Jewel, we're bringing you the finest produce faster than ever, fresher than ever. It's all part of our pledge to bring you nothing less than the best.
Take a fresh look at an old brand Jewel.
Now on the Health Beat, if you feel as if you never get enough sleep and are always tired, you're not alone.
We all feel that way. Healthy reporter Sylvia Perez is wide awake, though, because she has a new study about this drowsiness.
A lot of people are sleepy, Joel, and Americans are far sleepier than previously believed. A National Sleep Foundation Gallup survey found 1 in 3 American adults scored at levels of daytime drowsiness known to be hazardous. Survey respondents were asked questions based on a sleepiness scale. Researchers found that nearly 4 in 10 people reporting daytime sleepiness admit it interferes with their day-to-day activities.
There is much evidence showing that excessive sleepiness can cause impairment in people's social activities, their occupation, and can even be dangerous to the point that people can have severe accidents and even result in death because of sleepiness.
Experts say people suffering from sleepiness that occurs on a daily basis could have an underlying medical problem and should seek medical attention. Sleep disorders can easily be diagnosed and effectively treated. Well, it may sound hard to believe, but every 2 weeks, a child is strangled to death in a cord from a window blind. This estimate comes from a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine. It found nearly all the children that were killed were under 3 years of age. The most common scenarios involved infants in cribs near windows who became entangled in the cords while sleeping or playing. Also, toddlers who were caught in cords after jumping or falling from furniture placed near a window. Experts recommend moving furniture away from windows and making the cords less hazardous by cutting off the loop or device that holds the cords together. Some Kellogg's cereals may soon have a new message on their boxes. The company wants the federal government's okay to advertise Wheat Bran as a cancer fighter. It is up to the Food and Drug Administration to grant that permission. Kellogg plans to link its Wheat Bran products with the beneficial effects against colon cancer. Scientific studies have shown a relationship between a diet low in fat and high in wheat bran fiber. Now, if the FDA gives the go-ahead, the company plans to put labels on 17 of its products ranging from waffles to Raisin Bran. If you had a nagging cough that hung on for weeks last winter, it might not have been a nasty cold. It may have been whooping cough. Experts say the disease, also known as pertussis, is increasingly found in adults today. That's because the immunization given to children wears down after 5 to 10 years. Adolescents and adults are not re-immunized due to concerns about reaction to the traditional vaccine that uses a live virus. This year, though, the FDA approved new partial virus called an acellular vaccine, and for the first time, the safety and effectiveness of an acellular pertussis vaccine is being tested in adults. And that's Health Beat. Jolanda.
So we should get a shot.
Well, it's up to you. You have to make that decision. Okay, thanks. We can talk about this later.
Okay.
Thank you, Sylvia. Right now, let's talk about the latest on our weather forecast.
And the guy to do that is Jerry Taft in the Weather Center. Jerome?
Well, Joel, we finally got some sunshine out there, and it's warming up a little bit. Next few days will
be in the 70s, especially out away from the lake. It's actually almost that now. It's 70 at Peatone, 69 at Midway and O'Hare, but cooler, 62 at the lakefront. If you take a look at the satellite, you can see how the clouds are moving out and we're getting some sunshine around Chicago. There are some clouds out to the west and even a couple of showers back in Nebraska and the Dakotas. But as you can see here tomorrow, they will stay out to the west. So tomorrow should be a pretty nice day. Tonight, partly cloudy and cool. Overnight low down to 52. Tomorrow's high 74, mostly sunny, but again, only in the low 60s near the lake. 76 on Thursday. We do have a chance for rain coming in late Friday into early Saturday. Temperatures averaging slightly below the normal high of 76. Joel and Linda.
All right, Jerry, thanks. Now let's take a look at the stories coming up on ABC 7 News at 5.
Diane Burns is standing by the newsroom to tell us about it. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Linda and Joel. Coming up on the news at 5. She was looking forward to motherhood, but tonight a 20-year-old woman is dead, shot and killed in the street. She was crossing. We're live with late developments on that story. Also in our consumer corner, finding a sleeping bag that offers the best protection from the elements. And a man who still laces up his skates and plays hockey, and he's only 77 years old. Join Alan Kraszewski and me for those stories and much more coming up on the news at 5 o'clock. Linda and Joel.
Diane, thanks very much. Jim Rose said he'd be back in 13 minutes. Here he is.
13 minutes?
13 minutes. We timed it.
Actually, you're a little early.
I am?
Yeah.
I was on at 37. It's 52 now? 50. Oh, 13 minutes. Another off day in the NBA Finals, fueling speculation about what's going to happen with the Bulls next year. Now, we told you earlier about Phil Jackson denying reports he and Jerry Reinsdorf met about a new one-year deal. But how about the trade rumors involving Scottie Pippen?
It doesn't really bother me one way or another. You know, there's always the talk around the draft time of not just myself, but guys around the league being traded. You know, I don't know if there ever will come a day where, you know, you don't have to hear your name. I mean, I think there's a lot of good. I mean, that says that you have a lot of value in your play. And I would love the opportunity of finishing my career out in Chicago. But, you know, if it don't happen, then I just have to look elsewhere.
Dennis Rodman, whose contract expires after this season, had similar thoughts at today's Media Gab Fest.
It's stupid as hell to say I wouldn't want to come back. You know, I love Chicago, so if they want me back, great. If not, I guess I'll be somewhere else, maybe Orlando or L.A.
The Worm. Why do they wear sunglasses indoors? All right, there's quite a Chicago flavor to the Utah Jazz. Their coach, Jerry Sloan, was a Bulls legend before Michael Jordan. Reserve center Greg Foster played briefly for the Bulls. Stephen Howard played at DePaul. And Jeff Hornacek grew up in LaGrange and is in the High School Hall of Fame out there.
The guys I hung out with were all older and they were bigger hockey fans, so Blackhawks were probably my team. And, you know, of course, you watch the Cubs and White Sox. I was a Cubs fan. Cubs fan. My buddies were White Sox fans, and we've had arguments all the time. So, you know, it was just great growing up in the city with all the sporting events you could follow.
Jeff, is there anything special about for you coming back here to Chicago?
You know, if you're finally going to get a chance of playing in the finals, what better place to play than where you grew up and watch the Bulls when you were a kid and watch Jerry Sloan out there playing, and now he's coaching in there. So, yeah, it's a special feeling. But once you get in that locker room, getting prepared for the game, you really don't even think about it. You just go out there and play the game.
In tennis today, both defending champions were beaten at the French Open. Steffi Graf lost to Amanda Coetzer of South Africa in straight sets. Coetzer had also beaten her at the German Open last month. In the men's division, Yevgeny Kafelnikov lost to unseeded Gustavo Kuerten of Brazil. Finally, Jim Schoenfeld has been fired as coach of the Washington Capitals. No word on his replacement. And Game 2 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals takes place in Philadelphia tonight. Detroit leads the series 1-0. That's sports.
Saw Jeff in the LaGrange Pet Parade after they won the state championship.
And did you know he also was a pretty good baseball player, too?
My daughter Kelly insists she got him through English class.
That's sports.
True.
When we come back,
a dog that travels in style. That story's next.
Laura G. of Rockford writes, "We're getting a new refrigerator and my husband wants to put the old one in the basement for beer and night crawlers. Is this a good idea?" Okay, Laura, here's how to get out of that. Tell your husband that old refrigerators are expensive to run. One that's 15 years old can cost up to $12 a month. If that doesn't persuade him, stay out of the basement.
For more energy answers, call ComEd.
Today I got stuck at the office again. I came to Dominic's to their chef's collection. Everything is fresh and it's like homemade. I am going to get the oven roasted vegetables. And they put rosemary and garlic in it. Then I'm gonna add the gorgonzola ribbon pasta made with walnuts and dried cherries, and everybody thinks I did it.
The Chef's Collection, plus aisles of fresh values. Only at Dominic's for people who know their food.
That's my goal in life, to never have to run and cook anymore.
Delivering reliable local phone service. It takes more technology and know-how than you think. State-of-the-art switching centers, fiber optic cable, satellites, and cellular links. Ameritech invests billions of dollars a year to make it all happen. So when you need to connect to long distance, to the internet, to police or fire, or to just next door, Ameritech makes sure your call goes through. Stick with what works.
Hello? Hi, Grandma.
Ameritech, your link to better communication.
Traditional luxury cars. The slumber, the serenity, the isolation. Hey, you're not dead yet. Presenting the supercharged Bonneville, one of the world's most powerful sports sedans. Made traditional luxury, rest in peace. Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
Skateboarding season will arrive soon. One Baltimore resident doesn't want to be left behind. Precious is a pup who has her master very well trained. Dawn Crockett ferries the little dog around the neighborhood on her own skateboard. She apparently loves cruising and dressing up, we are told. Her Baltimore Orioles uniform is one of her favorite outfits, part Cocker Spaniel, part Pekingese. Precious has ridden already in more than 150 parades. The skateboarder is a big hit at children's hospitals and nursing homes where she and her owner are regular visitors, and soon vacation time is going to roll around, and we are told Precious then will trade in her wheels for a surfboard and a bathing suit.
That is a cool dog. Now the solution to today's Chicago Jeopardy in the category politicians. This Evanston businessman won the Nobel Peace Prize and was vice president.
We learned something today. The correct question: who was Charles Gates' Dawes? And that is ABC 7 News at 4 for today. We thank you for joining us. I'm Linda Yu.
I'm Joel Daly. Now the news at 5. Here are Diane and Ellen.
Joel, Linda, thanks very much. Up next here on 7, a pregnant woman shot and killed as she crosses a South Side street. Tonight, police are searching for her killer.
Also coming up, we'll learn more about the victim of a tragic accident at the train station at Randolph Street. Relatives talk about their grief tonight.
We'll also find out how you can own a piece of the United Center, some of the best seats in the house.
And everybody's heard those wedding horror stories. Now there's a way to make it a happy occasion. Some couples can be insured against disaster. Those stories and much more coming up at 5.
Help the Leukemia Research Foundation.
Run or walk in the Jim Gibbons Memorial 5K the evening of June 19th.
Call 847-982-1022.
We'll see you there.
Need a new engine? Pep Boys has over 1,200 quality engines, car, light truck, import, or domestic, all with a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
What's new? Just see what your Mercury dealer has for you now.
Now, Mercury Villager has exciting 1% APR financing for up to 48 months or $2,000 cash back. Villager's the minivan that drives like a car and now has 2 great offers. And look at this, the powerful Mercury Mountaineer with a standard V8. There's exciting things happening at your Mercury dealer, like Villager's 1% APR or $2,000 cash back. But hurry.
Maybe it is time to imagine yourself in a Mercury.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
Are you trying to consolidate some debt but still waiting for an answer on your loan? The longer you wait, the more you keep paying. Hi, I'm Dan Marino. Don't wait any longer. Call First Plus Financial today at 1-800-510-PLUS and get an answer before you hang up. If you're a homeowner, First Plus can help you consolidate all your credit cards and other loans into one low monthly payment. And the interest may be tax deductible. There's no application fees. So what are you waiting for? Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.
Hey, Chicagoland, reward yourself instantly with your Harrah's Gold Card at our new rewards machine. Use your rewards for cash, dining, and more. The choice is yours.
ABC 7 News, the Chicago area's #1 news, with Alan Kraszewski, Diane Burns, Jerry Tan, and Mark G. and Greco.